Deseret Land and Livestock ranching job. Deseret Land and Livestock ranching job. When I was young, David, my friend, had a job. He was in between 7th and 8th grade. He went up on a ranch up in Woodruff, Utah. And it was called um, Highway Ranch. And this was one of the ranches on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints owns a gigantic ranch, cattle ranch up in Wyoming, Utah area called Deseret Land and Livestock. And they have different ranches. So they've bought a bunch of ranches, and then these ranches run the different portions of property up there in that area. Well, anyway, I got a job up there with him between ninth and sophomore year, and this is just after I beat him in wrestling, and and he was still giving me a little bit of crap, but I'd throw it back at him every time. From then on, I stopped taking his crap. But anyway, I really enjoyed working at that ranch. I mean, there was beautiful rainstorms that would come off the ridges. Um, there was a lot of ducks and geese, and there was a lot of sage hens and badgers. We got to drive the trucks at the age of 14, 15 years old. We got to drive the trucks around the ranch. We got to go hunting the whole time. We were hunting there when we shouldn't have been hunting there. We shoot sage hens with 22 rifles. I shot a sage hen with a 22 rifle out of the air one day when it was flying away. Anyway, lots of stories. Ranch hands, hobos would come through and they would live in the old crappy bunkhouses. Old crappy bunkhouse was just like a little shed. It had some beds in it, tons of mosquitoes. It was horrible. The mosquitoes were all over inside. Horrible shower, stinky water, stinky shower. You had to use an outhouse. It was crappy, but but it helped me kind of learn how to live in crappy places for like on my mission too. I lived in a few crappy places there, but not as bad as that ranch place. But I did all the windrow raking. So after the hay was cut and it would dry, I would drive the tractor, and these little windrow things would bring all the hay into a row so they could pick it up and clean it up. Drove lots of equipment. I can't believe I didn't get hurt up there. It was a dangerous environment. I was always cutting off skunks' legs and pheasants' legs and grouse legs, rabbit legs. You'd go through the alfalfa field and you'd cut off an animal's legs or whatever, and it'd be hopping away, dying and stuff like that. And anyway, it was a cool job. I missed the heck out of my family, and I really missed the heck out of Marianne. I got really homesick for Marianne. There was one of my favorite songs was "My Eyes Adored You, but I Never Laid a Hand on You. My Eyes Adored You," and I loved that song. That was when I started getting religious. In between my ninth and sophomore year, I started thinking about Heavenly Father. I started saying my prayers because I needed help getting through that situation, and I started to gain a testimony of scriptures, of prayer. I'm trying to think if I was doing some other things that I shouldn't have been at that time. I might have been. I can't remember. But anyway, the whole point is that I worked on a ranch, being kind of a cowboy, ranch hand. We worked with the cattle a little bit. It was a lot of fun. It was a great thing. The worst thing about Wyoming, though, at that time of the year, it was in the spring, the early summer, was the mosquitoes were devastating. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of mosquitoes all the time. Just huge flocks of them. They would get on all over your clothes, and they would shoot through into your pants. And I literally had mosquito bites over my entire body, and there would be mosquito bites on top of mosquito bites. Hundreds and hundreds of mosquito bites. Horrible. That's the only thing I don't like about Wyoming is I don't mind the wind, but I don't like the mosquitoes. The good thing about the wind is it blows the mosquitoes away. One of my favorite memories also about Deseret Land and Livestock is there would be gigantic thunderstorms coming off of the top ridge of Monte Cristo, and when the rain would hit, the smell of fresh cut hay or the smell of the sagebrush would be rich, and it would just be such a clean smell. Oh, and the other great part about the ranch was Pam and Alvin. Alvin had his thumb ripped off when he did with some calf roping, and he threw a rope around a calf, and then it got tied around his thumb, and it yanked his thumb off. Maybe it was his finger, but I thought it was his thumb. But anyway, Alvin was a good guy, and Pam, his wife, they fed their kids, man. They had like 2 or 3 little kids, and they'd feed them like beef when they were 2, or 1, I swear. But she made the best meals, potatoes and gravy. There was never any breakfast left when we got done. There was never any lunch left when we got done. There was never any dinner left when we got done. Her job was to cook for the ranch boys. There was probably 4 or 5 of us there, 3, 4, 5 of us at any given time. Brent Stoddard became Mr. Utah once or twice. I taught him how to lift weights, and then he became a great weightlifter. I think he got his start from when I shared my weights with him. But anyway, she cooked absolutely fabulous ranch meals every day. Every day was a feast, like going to a buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There was never anything left. Oh, and the smell of the roast beef cooking, and the smell of the pancakes and eggs. Just amazing. It was amazing. But I was so homesick and so lonely, and I wanted to see Marianne. I missed making out with her. I missed riding my motorcycle. That's when I got my motorcycle. Was after I got it my 9th grade year, and I couldn't ride my motorcycle because it was there and it wasn't up here. So I was really homesick because I wanted to ride my motorcycle because I didn't get to ride it that much before I had to go to this job. In fact, I don't even remember getting a check from that job. I think my mom got it, put it in the bank. It was like $150 or something. It was nothing for the time we spent up there. Nothing. But it's been a great memory.